Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. Good evening, Deacon Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. So glad to see you out there today. So just come on in. If this is your first time on, please like my page, turn on the notifications so you'll know when I'm on. But I am so happy that you are here today. So welcome again to Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. As you know, obstacles come in all forms. I mean, they come from all different directions. They have low self-esteem, suicide, generational curses, homelessness, lack of role models, and those are only a few of the barriers that our young people face each and every day. Well, my platform is designed to assist high school age and young adult males as they follow my basic principles in order to overcome these obstacles and to build their best lives. You see, I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. I am super excited. I cannot believe it is November already, but we are on the second day of November. So, hey, we have to embrace it, get ready for this I'll say cool weather here in Florida, but some of you cold weather. And this month for November, my theme for the entire month is give thanks. You know, we are blessed with so many different things, and whether or not we decide that we want to complain and say we don't have this or that, or we wish we had what someone else have, we have so much to be thankful for. Yes. So I thought it would be, robbery if we didn't take time out to just give thanks and, not complain all the time. So I am excited because my first guest of the month is none other than Cynthia Ferguson from Dallas, Texas, and she's here for our parents chat. Hello, Cynthia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me back.
I'm glad to have you back. I was going to say she's been here before, so we are in for a treat. So, Cynthia, why don't you start out by telling everybody a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Cynthia Ferguson. I am from Dallas, Texas. I am a school nurse medic. Been doing this for 10 years. I am a mother. I am a mentor. I have a girls group that I've had for 8 years within the school system. That's an empowerment girls group. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm also the board president for another outreach center for young ladies. And I'm just, again, so happy to be back on Build Your Best Life. And I think it's a wonderful platform for anyone, that wants to just hear about everyday life, young men, young women, and I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much. We're just glad to have you back again. And everybody, everyone is not blessed to give birth to children, but each of us have children in and out of our lives, whether we are their parents, their godparents, they're in our family some type way, educators teach. So we embrace children some type way. And they are a blessing to us because God loans them even to the parents. They are the children of God, but He loans them to us. But it is such a blessing to have them. So that's why today we're talking about gratitude of a parent. So, parents love their children unconditionally. So, Cynthia, can you please give us one word or one statement as to why you are grateful for each of your children?
Absolutely. I don't know that it's going to be one word, but we can try.
A statement, paragraph.
Exactly. Well, each of my children has taught me something different. We love our children. We love them unconditionally, as you said, but sometimes we have to love each one in a different way. One may need the actual physical touch and hugs. Another one may want their space and just want to hear, I love you. One of them may just, hey, what's going on? But we have to learn to love our children like you said, unconditionally, but in their own way. And that can be hard for us as parents because, we want to smother our kids with hugs and kisses. And sometimes that doesn't happen. You may have one that doesn't want all that. So we learn from our children, and it helps us in our everyday life because there's people out there that don't want to be hugged or touched. And we have to respect those boundaries. So even with our own children, we have to respect those boundaries. And it's my responsibility as a parent to realize these things and to teach them what I'm doing, you have to do with others as well. So I'm just very grateful that that God saw it in his heart to give me my children that I have. One's biological, two are God promised. I love them all the same. And I'm just very grateful that I had that opportunity and that he saw it fit in me to be their mom.
Awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Well, children don't always live up to the expectations that parents put on them. In your opinion, do parents sometimes expect too much from their offspring?
Whew. Yes. Yes. Personal experience. Yes. I believe that sometimes we forget that we were young at one time and we made mistakes and we did things that we weren't supposed to. And even though we were guided, we still have our own mindset. And, we want to show our children that we do love them and we are going to guide them, but not with giving that so-called, we say we're going to help our children. And sometimes the help that we give may not be what they need right then and there. As a parent, it's our responsibility to try to find out what it is that they need. If they're making a mistake, we guide them through that. We talk to them and explain to them, not just scold them. It's easy to just get on to a child for doing something. It's easy to say, that's bad, that's wrong. But if you don't explain it and break it down for them where they understand the why of it or the why not, then, it may just go through one ear and not the other. We want our children to be, so to speak, perfect.
All right.
But none of us are perfect. Never have been, never will be. So
Right.
our expectation sometimes is we put a lot on them. Now, with that being said, we should put a lot on them as the parent to guide them. So to answer your question, do we sometimes expect too much from our children? Yes. Is it needed sometimes? Yes, a lot of times. But then we also have to be willing as a parent to listen. Sometimes, I've said this before, we have to close this and open these so we can communicate with our children.
Right. See, sometimes, it's even to, I was reading something the other day and it was a story about this guy, I think he was a physician and he just was not happy. And it was about coaching and his coach wanted to know, why aren't you happy? You just look like, you have a good practice. You've been around for a while, but, you don't have any passion or whatever. He said, because I never wanted to be a physician. Now, my father had a practice and he wanted me to join and my family expected me to, so I did it, but that's not what I want to do. So, sometimes our kids, they want us to be proud of them. So sometimes they will, if we push them, they will do some things that they really don't want to do in order to make us happy, And, we always hear the story about the guy who wanted to be a great football player and he didn't make it. So then he insists that his son get out there and do it, even though that's not the child's desire. So, so that way it can be bad. But as you say, a lot of times our kids, they have potential and they want to sit on it and they don't want to do those things that we know that's in them to be what God has for them in their lives. And so then we have to push them like, hey, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
It works both ways.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah. Good evening, Agnes. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Sometimes, many have a desire for their child to, and here I go, to be a physician or a professional athlete or a lawyer. Others may want their child to take over the family business, such as plumbing, a contractor, lawn service, dry cleaning. Should a child go after the job or business their parents recommend? In your opinion, why not?
Well, that could be yes or no. I want to say lean a little bit more towards the no, just for the fact that, sometimes we miss our opportunities when we were younger and we wanted to do something. So we're going to live through our children or try to live through our children and push them to do the things that maybe we wanted to do, not really considering, is that something that they really want? Will they be happy with that? Our job as parents is to guide the children and help them make informed decisions about anything in life, especially in a career. When they're getting started and they're going to school or they're going to college, you want to make sure that you're guiding them, but also listening to what it is that they love to do. You don't want them getting into, like you said, the doctor and stuff. You push your child, they could be the best doctor in the world, but are they happy doing that? When maybe their dream was to be, they wanted to go be a musician. We see a lot of shows sometimes, all these shows that are on right now, the singing shows where it's like they're doing this and they're going to college and they're doing all that, which is fine. But their dream is to be a singer or a performer or whatever they choose. So, I think as long as we inform our children, look into it, research it. Is it something you really want to do? To be happy, because they want to choose a job where they're going to be happy in their career. And if they're happy in their career, that can be very successful for them. I was speaking to a friend of mine today or a few days ago, and one of her quotes was, it's a quote that they say out there: if you do a job you love and love a job you do, you're never going to work a day in your life. And that's so true. And when she said that, I've heard it before, but it kind of resonated with me, because it's like, we can do a lot of jobs if we put our mind to it. But if we're not happy, it's going to be like really, really working when you can have something in your life, or talk to your children about doing something that they really, really want and love, and it'll be a lifelong career. And they can pass that on to their children, as long as, if we teach our children it's okay, do it with 100%, then they'll teach their children, and so on and so on. So we just need to be there to guide our children. So yes and no, leaning more towards no.
Good response. I like that. But I love the part where you say do the research. Because sometimes it may be something they have never even thought about doing, but you can see the skills that they have, and you say, hey, did you ever think about this? And then once they actually try it and do the research, hey, I like that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's good. Do the research. Good evening, Linda, Patrick, all the way from Freeport. Good evening to you and Andrea. I see you on there, Andrea Pratt Smith from Nassau. Good evening, ladies. All right. I believe it is better to train children early rather than to fix them later. Now, what things do you feel are essential to teaching young children to grow up as resourceful, realistic young adults with an arsenal of life and biblical principles?
Well, there's many things we can teach our children, and we do from the time they are born, even till they're adults. We still are constantly teaching them. In my household, it was always God first. You have to teach them about their faith and to believe, self-respect and respect for others, self-worth. If they don't know their self-worth, they don't know that they are capable of getting out there and deserve that job or deserve, that opportunity. And even as an adult, that can come later on in life. It's like, well, why am I here? Do I really deserve that? So if we teach them about these things as they're young, hopefully those things will stick with them throughout their lifetime, and they carry it on, and they really believe in themselves and they can do it. The biggest thing that we can do for our children is to be the example, because they watch us. If we're not that example, and we're not, what they say, practice what you preach, then why would they even consider doing something? So being the example, I think would probably be one of the bigger things that they could visually see.
Okay, and I think that's a great one. Good evening, Peggy. How are you? Yes. If y'all can send us some comments here, tell us what you think. But I think that is a very good one, being that example, because you can talk all day long and it's like, okay, why are they telling me that? That's not what they're doing. They're just sitting around. I don't even ever see them with a book. I don't ever see them Googling anything. They always got somebody come to the house to fix this, and they can just Google it and figure it out. Why do they want me to do, go overboard to do different things? So that, being an example and showing them, this is what you have to do. You have to use what you have sometimes. We all have strengths and weaknesses. What do we do with those in life?
Right.
Okay, I like that, Andrea. Leading by example is key. Don't be a hypocrite. I love it.
Exactly.
That's good. Yes. All right. How important is it to demonstrate to your children how you feel?
I think it's important to show your feelings to your children, whether it is regarding a certain situation or your own personal feelings toward them. It's important because if we bottle up our feelings and never express it, again, what are they learning? They're learning to do the same thing, and the cycle continues and continues and continues. It's important to show that it is okay to show your feelings. There's a way to do it, and we need to teach our children. You don't just burst out if you don't agree with something, or you don't just shout out. There's a time and a place for everything, but teaching them that it's okay to express your feelings, whether good or bad, as long as it's done in a constructive way, it's okay. Now, when it comes to something emotional, the love we give them, it's okay to tell them you love them. We grew up in a household where we always said, I love you. I do the same with my children, whether it's a phone call every night, my parents, everything. It's always, okay, good night, I love you, or have a safe trip, I love you, be safe. So I think it's very important to show and express feelings in all aspects of our life with our children and everybody else too.
All right. Okay, Andrea says, talk about your feelings with your kids so they can feel safe to talk about their feelings to you. And that is so important nowadays, that talking and that listening. So, not only do we sit there and have that conversation with them, but we need to do a lot of listening, because a lot of times our children are trying to tell us something and we are so busy that we're not hearing or seeing what it is that they need to relate to us. But it is important to let them know that, I'm here for you. I love you unconditionally, as you stated earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what it is, whether you think, you did something wrong or right. I'm here for you. We'll work it out, whatever it is that we need to do. But let's talk about it.
Yes. And sometimes when they may express their feelings, sometimes, we're ready to just pounce or jump because we may not agree with it. And that's a time where we need to take a deep breath, step back, maybe revisit the conversation at a later time or even a later date, for us to absorb what they've just told us. Not every conversation with our child or our teen or even our grown children are going to be easy, but we need to be there for them. And we need to learn that sometimes that's what we need to do as a parent is, again, set that example, teach them that sometimes we have to step back and then revisit the conversation.
All right. And Andrea says, active listening, not just listening to respond. Be supportive and show compassion.
Absolutely.
Yes, we have to do that. And this is with our girls and our boys. Some young men are raised in a household or whatever where they are, taught to keep their emotions in, and that can be so detrimental, as they grow up. You should be free to express your feelings, whatever those are. It's okay for men to cry, That's not something that's bad or weak or anything. It's an emotion that everybody has. So
Yeah, and it's it's funny because growing up when I was younger, I remember my brother or friends it's like, don't cry, don't cry. Men aren't supposed to cry, and I never really understood that. And it's surprising now um, that it's still some of those words are still around, not as much as it used to be, but it's really surprising because we're times are changing and people are a little bit more open. But when I hear that, it's kind of sad because those are emotions that need to get out. They're going to come out one way or the other.
right.
So, I'd rather them come out this way than any other way.
Right. As you say, that it is an emotion and it's coming because of a feeling that they're having inside. So if it's not going to come out in the tears, it may come out with anger and fists and whatever that they need to use. We see all these things happening in the news where our young people are going and taking it out on people at the mall that they don't know, people at schools or whatever, because that's what's inside is coming out. It's going to come out, like you said, it's going to come out one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sad, but I think we need to do a better job. And I'm not really sure how that job is, other than to continually talk with our children, especially the young men, that it is okay to cry. It is okay to express your feelings. It is okay to show emotion and not just hold it all in, because that could be a lot of what's going on now with our youth, because everybody's trying to be so tough nowadays. Especially, the young men, they're trying to be so tough that they're holding all this in. And there's so much going on in this world, like you said, in the malls, in schools. That's a lot of stuff that they're holding on to that they need to release. And, we as parents just need to try to do a better job, whatever that means in each household. It may mean something different in your household than it does in mine, but we need to definitely, like Andrea said, we need to be actively listening and not just to respond quickly.
All right. And, I just thought, I just thought about this. I don't know of, and I guess I do need to do more research, but I don't know if there's any particular cultures that, even teach that. It may be a cultural thing sometimes that I don't, really know. But, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What tips can you give our audience on ways to show gratitude to their children?
The biggest one is to just verbally tell them how grateful you are that they are here, how grateful you are that they've done a good job, how grateful they are that, they've accomplished something. They'll never really know unless you tell them. We can show feelings and actions and everything, but if you don't verbally tell them, how are they going to really know how you feel? One of the other things is that, you can show gratitude to your children. And I know a lot of it sometimes is because parents work a lot now. We're busy, everybody's busy, but show up to their events. If you have school-age children, show up to their events. If you can't make every one, put it on your schedule to show up to one. That shows gratitude to your children that you're proud of them. I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're playing a sport. I'm glad you're in chess club. I'm glad you're doing plays or whatever. Show up for them. It's important because it lets them know that they are worth it. You want your children to know that they are worth it, and reward them for good deeds. If they do good deeds, encourage them. You have to show gratitude to your children because, again, that's teaching them that it's okay to open up your feelings and emotions, and you want that to be passed down to their children, and so on and so on.
Okay. So those are some great ones. Excuse me. Tell them, we can orally just tell them. Mm-hmm. That really means a lot. I know some people say, well, I do this and I buy them this and I buy them that, so they know. Maybe they do it, maybe they don't. But buying them stuff doesn't mean that you love them. You need to tell them, show them, give them that hug,
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we used to always do in children's ministry. Come here, give me a hug. And because, I would say, we give them a hug because we don't know that might be the only hug that they get today. So let's give them a hug when we greet them. So we have to tell them and show them. Then two, show up to their events. There are so many kids. They always got to get a ride with somebody to the event. Somebody has to take them home. Their parents are never there. And it's not, and I know some parents work and they can't, but that's not always the case. It's some of them just don't show up. So if your child is something, show up and show them that, hey, like you say, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad of what you're doing. Let them know. You have to show them. And then the third one she gave us was reward them for what they do. And I'm sorry. Reward them for what they do. Because, it's nothing like, when they go to these award shows or whatever, they get these little trinkets and they're just so happy. So we can do the same thing at home. You made straight A's, that's wonderful. You may say, well, that's what I'm supposed to do, go to school and whatever. Yeah, that's what we think, but, they're blessed. Everybody doesn't have the, the skills or abilities to make all A's all the time. But that's something that's, that's great. That's going to help them along the way. So let them know, hey, I am proud of you. Because you could have been doing something else instead of studying or whatever, but you chose to, study and make good grades. So let them know.
Exactly. It's funny because when I was thinking about that question, showing up for events, of course, was a big one for me. Of course, verbally telling them. My parents would tell us, they were proud and stuff, but my parents worked a lot. And from the time I was in first grade till I graduated, neither one of my parents ever went to any of my events. I played sports. I was in 2 different teams, inside out, and they never showed up. And I promised myself, if I ever had children, I was going to be there for those because it did something inside of me. I knew they loved me, but I would have wanted them to be there. And so when my boys had events, I'm telling you, they probably got tired of seeing me there yelling and screaming because I was at everything. But that's what I wanted them to do. And as my son, my oldest son, he's 27 now. And a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month or so ago, he told me, he says, Mom, I thank you for a lot of things, but he goes, I'm glad that you showed up. You and Dad showed up to our events. It meant a lot. So coming from him, hearing that, it kind of came back around to me. And I was glad that I chose to do that. And that's what we have to do as parents is, like I said, verbally tell them, show up, reward them. But that was a big thing that stuck out to me. So that was when that question came up, I just was like, that's it. That's one of them.
Yeah, that means a lot. And I was kind of like in the same shoes you were. My parents didn't show up to anything. So it was like I was always off on my own. But I went to all my kids' stuff. Running on the football field, I was right on the sidelines running too. Like you said, it probably was a little embarrassed, like, wow, it's my mom running. But I ended up and let's see, Andrea said, being present is worth so much more than a present. Hey, I like that. Memories are made, not bought. That is awesome, girl. You need to pin that one. Make sure you put that on your name on that one.
Yes, love that one. Love that.
And Linda says, love that. Show up for your children. Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
If y'all don't remember anything tonight, share that. Show up for your children. Be there. Let them know that you care, you love them, you're proud of them. If they are getting something for attendance, if they're getting something for, I don't know whatever it is, be there. Let them know you are proud of whatever it is.
Yes.
All right. Now that has been awesome. This just went too fast. Is there anything else you would like to share with us? This has been great. You are the right one to get for this. Let's see. Look, Andrea is saying here. Said, lost my mom at 17, but glad she attended my high school graduation. I feel her spirit around me and cheering me on in my life. That is awesome. Very good.
That is, and see, that's one of those things that you cherish, you know.
Yes.
Like one of the ladies said, you know, those are memories are made, not bought. You know, that's one thing that nobody can ever take away from us. They can take away the physical, the tangible. They can never take away what's in your heart and what's in your head that you remember. So that's a beautiful memory.
Yes. That's wonderful, Andrea. Thank you so much for sharing. So do you have anything else that you'd like to share, Cynthia?
Well, you know, we need to remember that our children, they're all different. They're different personalities. You know, I had one that would stay in the books, did what we asked of them, and just, you know, walk the straight line during the years at home. And then I had the other one that was a daredevil that would, he did it, he tried it, he said it, he tasted it, whatever it was, he did that. And, you know, we didn't love them any different. We loved them, but we had to find the way to get to them, to know that they loved them. We love them for who they are. And sometimes that can be hard because we put expectations on our children. It's like, well, why aren't you like such and such? Why don't you make straight A's like your brother or your sister? Well, they're giving, as long as they're giving their 100%, one person's 100% is not going to be the same as somebody else's.
That's right.
A child's C may be their 100%. And as long as we see that they're working and doing it, you know, we still have to encourage them. We still have to praise them for that. You know, there's just different things. I'm very grateful and thank God that he entrusted me and lended his children to me while we're here on this earth. And it's my responsibility to try to do my best to guide them, to teach them, to give them the foundation in their early years, because I think once you give them that foundation of all the things that we talked about earlier, God, respect, self-worth and stuff like that, when they get to that age and have to make that decision, do I do this or do I do this? At least it'll come into their mind. That foundation is there. They may question it. They may still go ahead and do it. They may not. So if we give them that foundation, hopefully it will stick with them. You know, like I said, foundation being church, respecting others, respecting their parents, helping others. I think it's important that we have, that they know that we're here on this earth. And I think it's our responsibility to help others. We help our children, we help our families, but knowing that we should help others as well makes a big difference. Let them know that we're not expecting perfection, but we're expecting their 100%. So we still have to have that, you know, that base of, you're gonna give me your 100%, but I don't want you to be perfect. I'm not perfect, never have been, never will be. None of us are. So we just have to remember some of those things. You know, we got to remember way back when we were young, we may have done something and tried something or said something, and we try to prevent our children from doing that same thing. But sometimes they have to walk that walk to really understand it. As much as we may try to guide them, sometimes they don't want to hear it. They just need to have that personal experience. And I think that's where it becomes hard for us as parents, because we know what can happen. They don't, because they're just hearing it from us. And, you know, teens, sometimes when parents are talking to them, it goes in this ear and out the other. So, but yeah, we just need to stay on and guide them as best of our ability.
Yes, we gotta love them. Love y'all so much, and appreciate that. Like you said, they belong to us. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, but because, you know, you have that gratitude in your heart, we just have to show it to them to make sure that they know and they understand that we have it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you, Dan. I saw that you tuned in here, but we were on the roll, couldn't stop. Yeah, that was great. So, Linda's on play on the side. Cynthia, how about you tell us, everybody, how they can get in contact with you? And, you know, again, I know you told us briefly when you were introducing yourself, but what are you doing with your girls and how we can, reach out?
Well, again, I work with a school. I have my girls empowerment group, grades 6 through 12. I've been doing that for 8 years. Keep me in prayer because I am ready to venture out and make that a nonprofit outside of the school. So keep me in prayer on that. I'm working on that. I am also the board president of, it's called Divas Build Futures, which is an organization for young women. You can reach me through there at divasbuildfutures.com. You can reach me. I'm on Facebook under Cynthia Ferguson. I'm working on getting some more outlets on social media. I have to kind of keep up with the times. I'm old school and I still like pencil and paper. And so my son is guiding me along. When I came to work for the school, he's like, okay, you have to get rid of the flip phone. You have to get something that can, help you do what you're doing. So, but I love speaking with people and trying to guide them. I feel that God has put something in all of us. Sometimes we don't know what it is. And it takes sometimes an incident, a tragedy, a happy thought, something, whatever, to figure out what it is. And I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to help young ladies, because that's my focus, on knowing their self-worth, empowering them to know that they can accomplish whatever they put their mind to, and their self-esteem, build it up. They need to know their etiquette. There's a lot of things that young ladies need, just as young men do. There's programs for young men, like yours, which is a great platform. So I'm just, I'm blessed to be able to do what I do. I am, like I said, I'm trying to take that leap of faith and step out. So y'all keep me in prayer, and hopefully I'll have more platforms and more things to come, share with everybody at another time.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And as you can see, Andrea says thank you for
all
listening. The information you shared. That was great. And I do appreciate it. And Cynthia will be back. We got something up our sleeves that we want to do together. So she will be back hopefully before this year's out. If it it's going so fast, so we are going to try to make it happen before this year is out. So she will definitely be back. So thank y'all so much for tuning in today. And also you can reach out to me on my platform. I guess the easiest way is if you go to my website, which is www.buildyourbestlife.org. And on there, if you click on the homepage, if you click on the social media icons, you can go directly to my pages. If you're on for the first time, if you can like and set up your notifications so you will know when I go out on one of my lives. And please go on my website so you can see my blogs. I have a new blog come out each Monday morning. And so you can see that, my calendar of events. We do have an event coming up later on this month, the 15th through the 18th. An attitude of gratitude. We have 4 speakers Monday through Thursday, so look out for more information on that. It's going to be awesome. And as well, my web store, you can see my services that I offer, which is speaking, webinar speaking, coaching, consultations, and you can get your autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And it's for everybody. This book is for our young people, for parents, grandparents, educators, mentors. It will help you and assist you to build your best life or assist someone else that is in your line of those that you want to help and reach out to. And always remember to please share my videos. They are out there forever. So just share those. So again, thank you so much, Cynthia, for being on today. And I look forward to you coming back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everyone, as always, as you travel on your road to being a better you, you will run into distractions, rough terrain, detours. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Hope to see you Thursday at 6:30 p.m. as we talk about laughter is the best medicine. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you Thursday, hopefully, and I'll get with you, Cynthia.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.